Hello and welcome to the Identity Architect podcast with your host, Greg Fearon. And I wanted to talk today about something that I see so much. See, she told me that she could never drop the weight because she had a social life to include in her life. There would be dinners, events at the weekends, things with friends and colleagues that would always be in the way of stopping her having the health that she wanted. And as a high performer, it was holding her back. Okay, it's impacting her body, it's impacting her health, it's impacting how she shows up in her career. And I want you to really notice something about what I've just said. You see, she didn't say she didn't want to change. She didn't say she hadn't tried to, mix the weekends with her goals. And, she said she tried and she'd failed, right? She said she couldn't because of something external, but that something wasn't here. And this is the tell. Because what I've learned in the 20 years of working with high performing women, when a woman at that level, okay, we're talking director level, HR director level, points at something outside herself as the reason she can't have what she wants, then it's never about a scheduling problem or anything else. Okay. What we're actually talking about, and this is the real truth, is a negotiation that's already happened. I'll say it again, we're talking about a negotiation that has already happened. It's happened quietly, privately, and you wouldn't even have noticed. Okay. So here's the thing that I've seen with clients who go through the $1 million body method, which is my program for high performing women who want to have the health and show up like the $1 million person that they can be, is this. There's an either or trap. Okay. Because when I see high performers frame things in a binary, i.e., it has to be this way or another way, it actually serves them in some way to stay stuck. Okay. It actually serves you in some way to stay there. So let me tell you the story that led to this episode. I was on a call with my client and she said, look, I can't seem to match the weekends with what's going on in how I want to lose some weight and I want to get healthy again. And I said, great. But here's the question that broke it all down. I said, why does it have to be either or? Why does it have to be either your health or your social events? At that point, she went quiet and the silence revealed something. I have to make sure everyone has a good time. I have to make sure I have a good time. So let's unpack what that really means. This is the hidden negotiation that you don't see happening play out in front of you. You just don't see it. Okay. And that's why my clients work with me. So because I will see those patterns to help them get past it. See, the hidden negotiation there wasn't about protecting her social life. It was a way to give herself permission to put herself last. That's all it was. Okay. And it's a very specific pattern to high perform women because here's the thing, in your career, you hold firm all the time. You say no in negotiations. You say no to clients. You say no to the CEO, unless you are the CEO, of course. You say no even to customers sometimes. In public, you're very good at holding the line, but it's behind the scenes where you quietly decide that I'm not going to negotiate on that. And here's the thing, your health is an easiest place to practice self-abandonment. I'll say again, your health is the easiest place to practice self-abandonment. And here's why. The cost of that self-abandonment is slow. You will gain weight over time. Eventually, you go to the doctors and the doctor says, hey, you're pre-diabetic or something, or you're sat in a meeting and you have no idea what's going on because the brain fog's too much and you've been working late all the time, or you get to a stage where the kids want to play with you and you're a bit too tired. So it creeps up silently and the cost feels slow. It feels like it's a slow cost, but eventually you catch up. Okay. And what actually happened in this case? It was a simple tweak. Okay, for my client, simple tweak. It was to batch cook once a week. That was the trick. I mean, obviously we nailed her nutrition, we got everything right, but the key bit was to batch cook because the batch cook means that she has the right structure in place to make sure that the weekends still works within her needs, still gets her results. She's now 7 pounds down since that conversation. And that's great. I'm really happy for her. The biggest part is that now she no longer self-negotiates. And what's happened is she was doing like a show for her daughter, and she's like doing all the makeup and stuff, and she had these jeans on, and she was like, "Are these my husband's jeans or are these my jeans?" Because they were falling down, and she didn't bring a belt. Okay, she thought they were her husband's jeans. They were her jeans because she decided that she was going to stop negotiating with herself. And that's the domino moment that means that now I get messages from her that says, I've been for my walk today. I cancelled a meeting that was tried someone tried to book across my lunch break. Because that's the thing. That's what we're playing with here. It's not about the calories or the anything else. Those are symptoms of a bigger problem. And that bigger problem is that self-negotiation with yourself where you decide that you're less important than anything else. And that is not the case. Okay. So, as I said, a few weeks after that conversation, she messaged me and said, look, I built structure into my week. My social life is intact. My goals are intact. I'm moving towards them. There's no sacrifice. There's no like martyrdom. It was a decision. And the decision is that she is not up for negotiation. Her health is not something she can negotiate. Okay. And that's why when she put the jeans on after a show one night, she had to hold them up with one hand because she thought they were her husband's. They were hers. And I really want you to take from that is that the genes aren't the result. The genes are evidence that somewhere along the line, she'll stop being the thing that was quietly traded away every time she walked into a room full of people she felt responsible for. She felt responsible for making sure everyone at that party or whatever would have a good time. When she decided that both things can be true, that's when we make the magic. So if you're listening to this and you've been using something like social life, work schedule, family stress, so the reason why you can't have the health you want, I want you to ask yourself one question. Why does it have to be either or? Sit with that. The answer will tell you everything you need to know. And if you're the woman that wants help to work through this, to work with me in the $1 million body method, to no longer negotiate with yourself, to no longer negotiate your health, your performance anymore, then the link to book a call is in my bio and we can talk. See you in the next episode.